Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Empowered Gems Tarot, and in today's reading, we're going to be looking into their blunt AF truth about your connection. There will also be an extended version of this available on my Patreon, where we're going to be looking into what this person is planning next based off of what we see in the main reading today. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Choose the crystal or deck you feel the most intuitively connected to. And scroll down to the description box below to locate the timestamp that will skip you ahead to your chosen reading. Hey group one, welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to the stained glass tarot deck and this firefly quartz crystal, this is going to be your reading. So here on the main channel, we're going to be answering the question, what is your person's blunt AF truth about this connection? From there, if you find that this reading resonates with you, there will be an extended offered over on my Patreon where we're going to take a look at what they're planning next for this connection. So with that being said, let's go and ahead and jump in to their blunt AF truth. So we have the energy of silver. And then we've got the 6th house. This is Jupiter and Virgo in the 6th, patience. Okay, actually, let's go ahead and pull some message cards with this, and then we'll jump in to these initial messages. But what I'm already kind of getting is that with this person, their truth of this connection is that it is a connection that has required work of them and participation of them. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. What's their blunt truth, Spirit, about this connection with group one? We have, I want to take care of you. I want you to feel safe with me. Okay. And I am fixated on you and will not stop until you're mine. At the bottom of the deck, I am moving on. So kind of some mixed energies here, but I feel like for this person, the reason that I was getting that they feel like this connection requires reciprocation and full participation of them, which I mean, I think that's kind of the case in most reciprocal relationships, right? But it has to do with this silver energy that's here. When we think about silver, this is a metal that has to be polished, right? Otherwise it tarnishes over time. And so I feel like there's something to that with this person. Like maybe this connection has required a lot of work from their perspective. We have patience energy here too. So it's like, it makes me feel like whatever this person wanted with you or whatever they were desiring didn't come easy for them or doesn't come easy to them. They've had to work or they've had to wait for it. And I feel like the work energy is coming up doubly here with the 6th house, because the 6th house, it talks about like our daily routines, which can include what we're doing for work, since that's what most of us are doing daily. But it can also talk about health matters as well as being of service to others through our work. So Jupiter here is expanding those themes. So there may have been something about this connection for this person where they felt like they had to put in a lot of work, or something about their daily routine became bigger because of you, right? Like maybe there was more on their plate or is more on their plate. More visibility into what's happening daily with their routine, their work, or their health. What this person is ultimately wanting is they want you to feel safe with them. They want you to feel like you are taken care of and that you are supported. And there is this energy of fixation here as well. Like they think about you a lot. They fixate on you a lot. I feel like for a lot of my group one viewers, you're sort of a North Star for this person in certain ways. A part of me with this Virgo energy feels like your person could be a little bit of a perfectionist, or they could just be a little bit fickle at times too, which also ties back with this patience energy where like for some of them, they could be stuck because they want things to be a certain way, or they want to be at a certain level, or they want something to be like metaphorically shiny and polished before forward movement can take place, before they're going to be in a place where they can take care of you and provide that safety for you. Okay. So let's keep going here. What else, Spirit, can you tell us about this person's blunt truth toward group one? What's their blunt AF truth towards group one? We have the Queen of Cups. Wow. And then we have the Five of Pentacles as well in the World. So there's like an acknowledgement here of some sort of closure, some sort of chapter concluding between you. This also confirms that I feel for a lot of you guys, this person is putting you up on a pedestal. They see you as having everything. Like you're somebody who's a high achiever, you're somebody who's accomplished a lot. You might embody all of the traits that they would look for in a partner. I'm definitely getting like this strong sort of idealistic energy from them for sure. This person would say that they experience your energy as being really compassionate and caring and nurturing, that you provide a certain emotional safety to them. And I think that they have a lot of love for you. I think their heart is very open when it comes to you. As I'm reading their energy here, I feel like when they think about all of the time that you've spent together or whatever their experience was with you, that emotional generosity or that kindness that you bring stands out to them. Maybe you guys were somebody that was a source of emotional safety or compassion as they were going through a difficult time or as they were sort of like working on themselves. I do feel with this Five of Pentacles, this person would also say that there's something about this connection that they don't really feel fully worthy of at times. Like maybe there's an abandonment energy that gets activated within this situation for them. They feel maybe a little bit like they're an outsider in your life, or maybe things have gone cold between you. And it's just like such a stark difference between this really warm energy of this Queen of Cups with all the yellows here, and then this really cool, icy energy of this Five of Pentacles. So they may feel like they're on the outside of your life right now for some reason, or that they're not worthy of you. But it's interesting because when I'm looking at this Five of Pentacles, there's sort of a we're in this together vibe too, where I feel like even if you guys are separated from this person, they do view you in some regard as like a ride or die, or somebody that they've been through thick and thin with, or would be there for through tough times as well. Let's keep going. What's this person's blunt AF truth about this connection, please, Spirit? We have awkward. And we have apathetic and bored here with nurtured here. So like that nurturing theme keeps coming through. Like I think this person really experienced you as being very emotionally generous and kind and empathetic with them. I feel there's definitely something here about reciprocity where I think that this person knows on some level that maybe they didn't reciprocate your warmth and your kindness and your generosity the way that you deserved, and they feel a little awkward or uncomfortable about it. This person might also have a difficult time with them, with receiving receiving care and love, like they don't feel worthy of it. This person may also struggle with emotional expression. So even though they want to take care of you and they want you to feel safe with them, I feel like they struggle with creating the conditions that would bring that energy together. Like they feel a little bit awkward with emotions at times, and you know, that can be normal, right? Depending on someone's wiring or their experiences that they've gone through, right? But yeah, I think with this apathy that's here, it's just kind of confirming that this person, they do see you as someone that's sort of outside of them right now. Like they're on the outskirts of your life. They're still watching you. I think they are still fixating on you or thinking a lot about whatever went down in this connection. But the apathy that's here is almost like they're not really doing anything to change it. You know, it's just they've surrendered that this is the outcome right now. But I do feel like you guys probably mirrored with this silver energy. I do feel like you guys probably mirrored something over to this person through these sixth house themes of like expanding in daily routines, work, health. Like I think there was something that you all reflected back to them that might have been a little bit uncomfortable or awkward for them to sit with here. So let's continue. Let's see what else we get for group one. What is this person's blunt AF truth of this connection, please, Spirit? We have odious opinions. This says unrelatable and unsympathetic advice, easily influenced by others and their viewpoints. Unpleasant opinions creating doubt and denial of connection. Okay, and we have another one coming through, just falling out of the deck. Oops. This one says cycles on it. Dysfunctional, unstable, hurtful, toxic. Same scenarios keep occurring, but unable to learn necessary lessons. Predictable, repetitive cycles of breaking up and getting back together again. And then we do have naughty thoughts here at the bottom. So there's definitely like a physical element to this as well. This person too, you guys may struggle with other people influencing them, right? Or there may have even been somebody external, like a third party or someone outside of your one-on-one connection that was in their ear about this situation. And so even though they experience your energy as being very warm and compassionate and nurturing, and it feels really good and positive to them, I feel like there's some sort of awkwardness here because of external opinions, or maybe even their own inner opinions, inner voices and things kind of getting in the way of being fully receiving of your love and your kindness. And this is a cycle for this person. So for some of you, it could just be like you guys have a back and forth connection with this person. But for others of you, I feel like this is a deeper wound. It's a deeper cycle, a pattern that this person goes through, not just with you. This says we keep replaying the same story over and over again and it never ends well. When are we going to do better so we can be better? I think that this person has a lot of inner work that they need to do around their value and their worth. And instead of like fixating on you and watching you from a distance, it's like whatever you guys have mirrored back to them, I feel like what they need to do is they need to use that as information to be more empowered for themselves moving forward to create a different cycle or a different outcome here. So it's almost like they've distanced themselves with I'm moving on here at the bottom of the deck, instead of like leaning into doing things differently to get a better result. So really interesting group one. If you're gonna end the reading here, comment below, let me know how this resonates for you. If you'd like to join me over on Patreon, we'll be going into the extended version of this reading next, where we're gonna take a look at what their next plan is, what they're planning for next in this connection. See you there. Hey there, group two. Welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to the Mermaid Tarot and this clear quartz crystal, this will be your message. So today here on the main channel, we're going to be looking into your person's blunt AF truth about this connection. And then if it resonates with you over on Patreon, I'll be offering an extended for this reading where we're going to take a look at what they're planning next for this connection. So let's go ahead and jump in. We start off with the energy of autumn. And then we've got Saturn in Leo in the 5th house, generosity. I'm going to go in with some message cards. What is this person's Blente of truth about this connection, please, Spirit? Group 2. Okay, we've got I'm moving on and you bring me peace coming up together. Okay. And then we have I want to take a risk. Bottom deck energy, I'm worrying and overthinking things. So this person's kind of like, I feel like they're a little bit wishy-washy right now with their Blente of truth, but let's get into this, okay? All right. This feels to me, group 2, like this is a person who feels like there was a lot of effort put into this relationship at some point in time. And the reason I'm getting this is because of this autumn energy being here. Autumn is usually a season where we talk about harvest, right? And being generous with sharing our harvest, our bounty. You know, it's like an opportunity to harvest the fruits of our labor. And it's like giving me earth energy as well. So I feel like maybe for a lot of you guys, either this person, their truth is that they've put a lot of effort into this connection. Or for some of you, this could be a person who's put a lot of effort into themselves leading up to this point. And there's definitely like a connect here with generosity. So they may be in a place where they feel like they want to be generous with you or share more. This could be how they're experiencing your energy as well. But Saturn in the 5th is interesting because Saturn sort of brings a little bit more of a seriousness when it comes to 5th house themes of dating and children and hobbies. And so it makes me wonder if this was the type of romantic love affair or romantic energy that had or has for this person more intentionality behind it, where certain steps were taken, things maybe were taken slow, things were done the right way to yield or reap better results long term from their perspective. I get the vibe that this person might be a little bit older than you guys, or maybe there's an age difference or an age gap here that is significant. They're just giving me someone who's a little bit more seasoned or tenured or experienced. And they're bringing that into how they're experiencing this connection. So moving on and bringing peace, right? So there's something about them moving on from something. Coming out together with you bring me peace. It makes me wonder if this person is moving on from like an old connection because you bring them peace. And maybe there is still a little bit of fear here with risk or, you know, overthinking or worrying about things. Wanting to take that risk to be more generous with you, more intentional with you, to share their harvest with you. Let's keep going. Let's get into the tarot next to get clarity here. So Spirit, tell us more about this person's Blente of truth, of this connection with group number 2. This person's Blente of truth with group 2. The Fool. What's this person Blente of truth when it comes to this connection with group 2? The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like they, I think the reason that you bring them peace is because with this Fool energy being here, this person may feel like they can be their complete authentic self with you. And again, there could be a little bit of a naivete that you bring or an age difference or something like that. Like this person to me seems like somebody who's older, more mature, further along with stuff in their life. Maybe they've had kids before already. And I think there's something about you with this Fool energy that's a little more new or green or not as experienced as them, or maybe there's just something about your energy more generally that's very authentic and true to you, which helps this person feel more at ease, right? They feel that they can be more authentic and true to themselves. And we have the Knight of Pentacles here. So this is that slower moving energy where it's like they want to move forward with intention. They want to move forward doing things the right way. There's this energy of wanting to take a risk, to be more generous, to share, to date, whatever that is. But that's still kind of being tempered by this Knight of Pentacles energy, which wants to do it the right way and have a plan materially. So this is really interesting, group 2. Let's keep going. So Spirit, what is this person's Blente of truth about this connection with group 2? This person's Blente of truth about this connection with group 2. We have reserved and shy. Okay. And we also have competitive here as well. We do have that avoidant energy at the bottom. Nurtured as well. So this person might struggle with emotions. They might struggle with being vulnerable and fully opening up. Yeah. And I think it's kind of bolstered by this reserved energy, that shy energy that's here as well. They're kind of somebody who's showing me as like they lean back and observe you or watch you, or maybe they're not as like out there or extroverted, because I feel like this Fool energy is more you, like you guys are somebody who brings more of that extroversion, that carefree energy, and they're more reserved here. And there's a competitive energy too, where this person seems a little bit calculating here, where they, I wonder if there's something about like your status or what you bring to the table in dating or relationships, where this person feels like they need to move or be more generous or take a risk, like a calculated risk, because they want that. Like they want to have that for themselves claimed. Okay, let's keep going. This is super, super interesting here. What else can you tell us, Spirit, for group 2 about this person and their Blente of truth of this connection? Blente of truth of this connection. Oops. Let's see. We have wordless. Words are jumbled or words were left unsaid, unable to speak or unwilling to say the truth, too much in their head and is unable to express their emotions rationally. Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense with this worrying and overthinking things at the bottom of the deck and this reserved energy, right? I think that this person does have a lot that they want to say to you, but they have, this avoidant energy where it's like they don't feel comfortable to express themselves. This feels really very much like a person who might express love through providing, reliability, acts of service, things like that. This says, there's so much for me to tell you, but I'm unable to express myself in a rational way, so I'd rather keep quiet. Okay. Look at this, you guys. I cannot make this up. Age difference at the bottom of the deck. That is crazy. This says, I know there's a huge age gap between us, and some may even object because of that. However, we're so similar in many ways, regardless of our differences. Let's get another one. We have insecurities. Unsure of who and where they are at in life, wears a mask to hide their feelings in fear of rejection, constantly covers up who they are in fear of what others may think of them. This says, if you really knew who I was and how I felt, you may not love me anymore. I'm afraid you'll reject me if I show you who I really am. That's really sad. But they do have future focus here at the bottom of the deck. So there's something brewing here, I think, around them wanting to plan. And I see that with the Knight of Pentacles as well. But this person, they do have a lot of insecurities that they feel. And I think if there is an age gap in this connection, I think that that's perpetuating it a little bit. I do feel like this person views you as really beautiful, really carefree, with competitive energy. Maybe you're like really highly desired as well. And so there's a little bit of that insecurity around their status, I think, with you. I feel for some of you guys, this person has built up a lot financially or experience-wise, but I also think with this Knight of Pentacles, they might still be building in some regards. Right? And so they may also feel just slightly insecure about where they're at with their money. Like maybe for some of you guys, like fifth house, this can talk about like our hobbies, interests, creative things, but it can also rule things like gambling, right? So maybe for a select few of you, this person has had to kind of get their act together as it pertains to their money and financial habits, risk taking, right? With money. And so because of that, with this Knight of Pentacles, they're not quite at the king level that they want to be. And that just may be for a select few of you, not for everybody. So this is their blunt AF truth of this connection group too. If you're ending the reading with me here, definitely comment below and let me know how this resonated. And if you'd like to join me on Patreon, we'll be extending this reading and taking a look into what they're planning next for this connection. So I'll see you there. Bye. Hi there, group 3. Welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to the Ocean Tarot and this little fluorite crystal, this is going to be your message. So here on the main channel today, we're going to be looking into the blunt AF truth of your connection from your person's perspective. And then over on my Patreon, we're going to be looking into their next plan for this connection. So that will be linked in the description box down below if you guys want to join me for the extended over on Patreon. Let's go ahead and jump in, and we're going to start with looking into their blunt AF truth about this connection. So we start off with the energy of gold. And then we have Mars in Taurus in the second house, defense. Well, there's definitely something here for this person as it pertains to value or values, because gold is definitely going to be something that has high value. And this particular gold within this archetype usually also comes with some sort of spiritual wisdom with it. So it could be that this person feels like they learned a lesson through this connection, or they're learning a lesson through this connection, but it's specifically tied to value or money, what we value. Now, with Mars coming up in the second house, this person might experience this connection as really passionate. They might also experience this connection as maybe having moments of anger or defensiveness here, where they feel like they have to defend themselves or kind of defend their value. Oh, shoot. I just dropped all of that on the ground. One moment. All right. So let's go ahead and get some message cards next to see what else they would say. So Spirit, what is this person's blunt AF truth about this connection from their perspective? Group 3's person's blunt AF truth about this connection. It says, you make me feel so nurtured and cared for. And you inspire me. I'm so excited about you. Well, that definitely connects to that Mars energy for sure. I definitely feel like there's something about you. And maybe like what I was saying before about defensiveness or anger, it might even be more like they feel like they have to protect you or be sort of like adversarial in keeping competition away or keeping people away from you because you're something that they value. So their truth that they're saying about this connection is that you made them feel or make them feel very nurtured. That you are somebody who makes them feel cared for or taken care of. And you also inspire this person. So there may have been something about your energy that inspired this person to do better with their own value, whether it's their self-esteem and their self-worth, their resources, their money. You inspired them and lit a fire under them through your energy. Let's continue group 3. So Spirit, what is this person's blunt AF truth? Something I'm also getting is that this person feels a little bit impatient. So there might have been something, there may be something there, which makes a lot of sense with Mars. What is this person's blunt AF truth, Spirit, with regard to this connection with group 3? We have skeptical. And curious with strategic. Lots of purple energy. So mentally and intellectually stimulating to this person. I feel like you are sort of like a puzzle piece or a puzzle that they're figuring out. It's interesting because I think that you made them feel very good with your energy, but there was also something about that they didn't fully trust with skeptical here. And I think that this person, because you inspire them and you sort of lit some sort of a fire underneath of them in their life, there's something about that has piqued their interest, where they're curious about you. Like, how did you get like that? How did you inspire me? How do you do the things you do? How do you have the value that you have? And I do feel for a lot of you guys that this is like a very spiritual connection or a spiritual lesson for this person. Okay, Spirit. So for group 3, let's keep going. What is this person's blunt AF truth about this connection, please? What is this person's blunt AF truth about this connection? We have the King of Cups. And we have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, so definitely there was like an emotional safety that they feel with you, or is an emotional safety that they feel with you, rather. The King of Cups is a beautiful energy because not only is it emotional safety, it's also somebody who's almost like a counselor to us, somebody who advises us or is like that confidant to us. You guys may have been that person to this person with this King of Cups and this "you make me feel so nurtured and cared for." But it's kind of interesting, right? Because there is some of this defensive, almost like competitive energy that I get from them around their value and their worth, maybe comparing themselves to you a little bit. And I feel like you guys are not really like that. And so when this person experienced you being more emotionally generous or caring or nurturing to them, they were skeptical because they're not like that, right? They're like, well, I have to defend my value. I have to get what's mine, right? I have to fight for my resources, but why is group 3 just freely giving it to me? You know what I mean? But again, with this 8 of Wands, you definitely lit a fire under them. Something about you and your energy was very inspirational to this person. Maybe because you guys ask really good questions with Curious, or they were sort of forced to ask themselves some tough questions, but it definitely ignited them and pushed them forward quickly. Okay, let's just grab one more deck here. Let's see what else we get. Okay, Spirit. So what is this person's blunt AF truth about the connection with group 3? What else do they need to know? We have free will. Their blunt AF truth about this connection, please, Spirit. Let's see. We have in separation. All right. You know, this person, you guys, I do get the sense that they have like moved away from you, or that they want to just be free, right? Because this card talks about not wanting to be tied down, right? This says literally, I want to be able to make my own decisions and not feel bounded by our connection nor the opinions of others. I'm not ready to commit, and I'm unsure of what the future holds. So even though you make them feel so nurtured and cared for, I think this is what brings in that skepticism, where it's like they're just not in a place where they're wanting to be tied down. And maybe they almost feel a little bit skeptical about like why you're so kind and nice to them when they're not showing that they want to reciprocate that right now. They just want to be free to come and go as they please. I feel like this person is really money focused for many of you guys. Like it's a very like chasing after money or resources type of energy, trying to prove themselves, to prove their value, to prove their worth. Like they're very wrapped up in the material realm right now. So even though, again, I think you were a positive force for this person, it doesn't really feel like they're in a space where they're like reaching back for you, because they're focused on these other things. And then we've got in separation here. This says someone runs away, the honeymoon phase ends, insecurities and attachment issues begin to appear, right? So it says, I'm taking a pause. I needed to separate myself from you in order to work on my mind and soul. This is only temporary. I will eventually find my way back to you, which I think is probably accurate to this person, because I get the sense that they do still watch you with that curious energy. Maybe some of you guys with this 8 of Wands have made some moves recently, or you've been traveling or doing something where they can visibly see your value, right? With the gold energy being here. And so I do think that even though their truth of this connection is that you guys are in separation. You're not together. They're wanting to be independent to come and go as they please. They're curious. I feel like they're still kind of watching you and getting inspired by whatever moves you're making here. So this is super interesting, group 3. If you are ending your reading here, definitely comment below. Let me know how this resonates with you and your person. And if you're joining me over on Patreon for the extended, we will be looking into what they're planning next for this connection. See you there.